The original Pokemon Red and Blue games included a total of 125 unique items, but when the Gen 3 remakes rolled around, that item count shot up to 220, if I counted correctly, which is unlikely. With this increase, is it still relatively easy to gather every item throughout Kanto? Well, that's the exact question that I'll be answering today. Now, it's worth mentioning that a few items are unobtainable thanks to being either event exclusive, only accessible through multiplayer and things like the Joyful Game Corner and Berry Crush minigame, having to be traded over from the Hoenn titles, or being attached to a version exclusive Pokemon. I've done this concept in 3 other games as well, so be sure to check out those videos once you're done here. Anyways, without further ado, make sure to hit that sub button as it really helps out the channel, and it's time to find out how easily you can collect every item in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Our hunt began with grabbing the potion out of the PC and choosing the only correct starter off the table. This point was proven by defeating the rival, who I named Items, before trekking north to retrieve Oak's parcel. As a result, we received the Pokédex, some Pokéballs, and the town map, quickly putting us at 5 items. Upon exiting Viridian City, I purchased an Antidote and Paralyze Heal, while the definitely not drunk guy forked over the Teachy TV. I decided to catch a Weedle in the Viridian Forest in order to prove that Beedrill can be somewhat viable in these games. As soon as I arrived in Pewter, I bought an Awakening, Burn Heal, Escape Rope, and Repel before washing away Brock's team and getting TM39 Rock Tomb, along with the TM case, putting the item count into the double digits. The next 3 areas featured a whole host of items, including the running shoes, an Oran Berry, which also gives us the berry pouch by the way, Persim Berry, TM09 Bullet Seed, Rare Candy, Moonstone, Tiny Mushroom, Big Mushroom, Star Piece, TM46 Thief, Ether, Revive, Dome Fossil, Great Ball, Raspberry, and TM05 Roar. That list rockets the total to 31, and obviously I won't be able to collect the other fossil either. Before going after Misty, I made sure to buy a Super Potion, get the Powder Jar, and defeat Gary once again to receive the Fame Checker. Man, I don't need this thing. I bet you don't have over 9,000 subscribers on YouTube. Oh my... Hey, my bad, Gary. I didn't know you were like that. I also stopped by routes 24 and 25 to pick up a Nugget, TM45 Attract, Peccaberry, Elixir, TM43 Secret Power, Bluckberry, and the SS ticket before taking down Misty for TM03 Water Pulse. The path to Vermilion played home to TM28 Dig, an Ice Heal, and a Citrus Berry. The city itself saw us gathering a Max Ether, Versus Seeker, Old Rod, the Bike Voucher, and a stick off of a traded Farfetch'd. I mean, come on, I really couldn't have walked over to the trees on Route 6 and picked this up myself. Anyways, I made Diglett the 3rd addition to the team, before nabbing an X-Defend and boarding the SS Anne. Various items were scattered around here, including a Hyper Potion, TM44 Rest, TM31 Brick Break, a Cherry Berry, Chesto Berry, Stardust, X-Attack, and HMO1 Cut, which we got only after embarrassing our rival, of course. The last thing to do around here was nearly crumble Lieutenant Surge's gym with Dugtrio's Magnitude, ultimately giving us TM34 Shockwave. I then made sure to backtrack to the beginning of the game to pick up HMO5 Flash and the Old Amber. Route 9 and the Rock Tunnel only had 1 new item each, in the Aerial Ace TM and a Pearl. Past that, there were a plethora of berries for me to grab, like a Nanab, Lepa, Rost, Lum, and Waper Berry, before catching my 4th team member on Route 7 and arriving in Celadon City. There are a ton of items to collect around here, so I began by buying a Freshwater, Soda Pop, and a Lemonade, and handing them to the girl on top of the department store for 3 TMs. Then there was the Coin Case, a PP Up, the Tea, a Super Repel, and TM19 Giga Drain, bringing our total to 80. Although there's a bunch more items I could purchase in the department store, I just don't have enough money at the moment, so I'll come back later. The Team Rocket hideout under the game corner had a whole host of new items to grab, including an X-Speed, TM12 Taunt, TM21 Frustration, the Black Glasses, TM49 Snatch, the Lift Key, a Calcium, Netball, Nestball, and the Sylph Scope after wiping out Giovanni's underwhelming team. In the Pokemon Tower, I made fun of our rival's dead Pokemon before finding the Cleanse Tag and an X Accuracy, all while saving Mr. Fuji and receiving the Pokeflute. Routes 16 through 18 only featured HMO2 Fly and a hidden Max Elixir, as well as my 5th team member in Snorlax, leading us to Fuchsia City. I picked up the Good Rod and a hidden Max Revive before entering the Safari Zone. This area was a little annoying as it took me multiple trips to gather everything, But eventually I collected some Safari Balls, a Leaf Stone, TM11 Sunny Day, a Max Potion, Full Restore, Quick Claw, TM47 Steel Wing, a Protein, the Gold Teeth, TM32 Double Team, HMO3 Surf, and HMO4 Strength. Man, it feels like I'm singing the Pokerap if it were items instead of Pokemon. Nonetheless, we're in the triple digits, and I felt like this was a good time to go back to Celadon and purchase TM15 Hyper Beam, a Pokédoll, Retro Mail, Firestone, Thunderstone, Waterstone, HP Up, Iron, Zinc, Carbos, X Special, Guard Spec, and Dire Hit. The gauntlet of routes between Lavender and Fuchsia only played home to TM27 Return, the Super Rod, a Pinap Berry, and TM18 Rain Dance. TM06 Toxic rested in the hands of Koga, while the TMs for Thunder and Protect resided way over in the power plant. After snagging the Psychic TM, I bought some Full Heals and Max Repels before traversing the Silphco, while gathering the card key, TM41 Torment, TM01 Focus Punch, and TM08 Bulk Up. The rival fight here went like the rest of them. Look, he may be famous, but his Pokemon battling skills aren't great, and neither are Giovanni's, so the Master Ball was easily obtained. Beedrill actually put in some work in the Saffron Gym, ultimately helping us get TM04 Calm Mind. See, I told y'all this is a viable mon. Yeah, totally didn't die like 3 times in this place. The only other thing to do before arriving on Cinnabar Island was to pick up a big pearl in the Seafoam Islands, bringing the total to 140. Deep in the Pokemon Mansion lied TM14 Blizzard, TM22 Solar Beam, and the Secret Key, which allowed me to extinguish Blaine's fire types and be handed the TM for Fire Blast. The Sevi Island side quest only housed the Meteorite, Tripass, HM for Rock Smash, Iapapa Berry, and a Spare Berry, which was kind of annoying to find since the berries in the Berry Forest only respawn every 512 steps, so it took me a little while. But after washing away Giovanni's squad and being rewarded TM26 Earthquake, we were off to the Pokemon League. Not before putting the rival in his place again, and picking up the TMs for Dragon Claw, Sandstorm, Hail, and Overheat though. Upon taking out items for one last time, we became the champion, but have we really overcome his reign? Because as you can tell, we still have plenty of items to locate, many of which reside in the post-game, which requires you to own 60 different Pokemon in order to access. However, this worked out in my favor, as it also meant that I could receive the Everstone, Item Finder, EXP Share, and Amulet Coin from Professor Oak's aides. By hunting down the Ruby in Mount Ember and returning it to Celio for the Rainbow Pass, we were granted access to Islands 4 through 7. Beginning in 4 Island, the Icefall Cave held the Nevermelt Ice and HMO7 Waterfall. And moving over to 6 Island, I picked up a Dragon Scale and Sunstone. The Rocket Warehouse on 5 Island held a few valuables, like the Upgrade, TM36 Sludge Bomb, and Sapphire. South of there, on Memorial Pillar, I made sure to scoop up the Metal Coat and TM42 Facade by leaving a lemonade at the Memorial. On the other end of 6 Island was the Lost Cave, home to a Lax and Sea Incense, while I came across the King's Rock and Lucky Punch on 7 Island, resulting in a total of 173 items. Now, for most of the remaining 47 items, you really have to go out of your way to grab them. For instance, by returning to the spots where Giovanni, Mr. Fuji, and Snorlax were sitting in their respective areas, you can use the item finder to uncover a Mako Brace, Soothe Bell, and the leftovers. Then, by blowing all of your money away at the game corner, or maybe just giving yourself a bunch of money to buy coins, you can purchase the TMs for Ice Beam, Iron Tail, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Flamethrower, along with a Smoke Ball, Miracle Seed, Charcoal, Mystic Water, and Yellow Flute. Back over on 2 Island, after completing the Ruby and Sapphire quest, the man at the market will sell some items such as a Moo Moo Milk, Repeat Ball, Timer Ball, and a Lava Cookie. There were still a few items scattered around that I mostly just forgot about until now, such as the Fab Mail from this Jinx that I had to trade a Poliwhirl for, TM48 Skill Swap on Route 12, Dream Mail in the 6 Island Pokemart, Silk Scarf at the bottom of the Lost Cave, a Luxury Ball by showing the desired Pokemon to Selfie, and a PP Max on 2 Island. With those out of the way, there's only 2 major groups of items remaining, starting with the pickup items. The TM for Hidden Power, along with various berries, can only be obtained from a Pokemon that has the ability Pickup, like a Meowth for example. It's worth mentioning that Hidden Power only has a 5% chance of being found, while the berries have a 1% chance, on top of the 10% chance of the Pokemon finding an item. Therefore, it took a relatively long time, but after a while, my army of Meowths gathered TM10 Hidden Power, a Palmtra Berry, Baloo Berry, Wotmel Berry, Durin Berry, and Spillon Berry. The final category of items is also the most tedious, and if you've seen the other videos I've done in this series, you probably already know what it is. The Thief items. You see, plenty of held items can only be acquired by stealing them off of various Pokemon throughout the game, and just about all of them only have a 5% chance of actually being on the Pokemon. Nonetheless, I settled down and snagged a Black Belt off of this trainer's Primeape in the Sevolt Canyon, a Focus Band off of a Wild Machoke, Hardstone off of an Onix, Magnet from a Magneton, Metal Powder from a Ditto, Poison Barb off of an Arbok, Sharpbeak off of a Fearow, Spell Tag from a Haunter, Thick Club from a Cubone, Twisted Spoon from an Abra, and a Silver Powder from a Venomoth. The final two items in this group are even more difficult though, as the Dragon Fang and Lucky Egg can only be found attached to wild Dragonairs and Chanseys, both of which are only located in the Safari Zone, meaning Thief doesn't matter. Instead, you just have to catch a bunch of them and hope for the best. So, after catching the entire population of Dragonairs and Chanseys, and single-handedly keeping the Safari Zone in business, we finally got the Dragon Fang and the Lucky Egg. So we now stand at 217 items, but where are the last 3? Well, to put it simply, Bulbapedia straight up lies about the Qualot Berry being found in Cerulean City, and Heart Scales being located in the Tenobi Ruins, as no other website says those two collectibles are in the game. And lastly, I just now realized that the Sacred Ash can only be obtained on Naval Rock, which requires an event to reach, meaning 217 is the grand total for today's video. And with that, we have collected every item in Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. This challenge was unsurprisingly more difficult in these games compared to their Gen 1 counterparts, as there were nearly 100 more items, and some of them just required straight luck. However, I didn't mind the more unique way that we had to get certain items, like hoping Selphie wanted to see a Pokemon that I already owned, and then only having a 70% chance to receive the Luxury Ball from her butler. Nonetheless, I had a lot of fun making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much. For now though, have a great rest of your day, and until next time, deuces.